All right. Hey, good morning. Good morning, Danny. All right. Let's just jump in. Uh, had a bunch of cool ideas for things. Danny, I saw your message about your commission. I need to, well, first, thumbs up, good stuff like that. I need to think about my response because I just saw it this morning. But a good indication of, oh, the light is harsh on my wrinkles. We must do better. We must. There we go. Bisexual mode activated. Just need all the love. Donkey Kong love. All right, here we go. We're gonna be easy on ourselves today, somewhat. I've just been finding stupid, doing my best to find like non-AI references on Pinterest. Very challenge impossible, but we try anyway. I'll put up this reference here. People can see it. Put the other one up here where I can see it. We're just doing a figure study right now. I have an idea for a more broadly scopifying my reach across similar but different disciplines. Danny, you probably know, but I don't talk about it too much, but I have a separate figure drawing account on Instagram where I post, my nude figure drawings, the educational stuff. Yeah, and it's despite being mostly on ice, I still get followers on it every day. I still get likes on it every day. And it's definitely not been the focus. Still, with very little effort, it racked up like 5,000 followers a few years ago. I saw that most of them were sort of like, hate to say it, but they were from countries where I don't speak the language, and that made me sort of doubt like whether or not like I should count them as real followers anyway. I could tell I had about 300 actual like human followers, and a lot of models followed me too. But the rest were sort of like the human equivalent of bots. They were human, but they were like, how human are you if you have no posts and you follow 7,000 people? Like, I didn't even know you could do that, So, and that's all that that doesn't denigrate the person's worth of life or anything like that. It's just sort of like, how do I know? You can't even like assume a person like that is actually interested in art. They have no evidence for it. And this was all just even before the AI stuff, right? So anyway, there were a few other things. That account got flagged once or twice, being like, oh, this is inappropriate material and stuff like that. This violates Meta's guidelines. Meta couldn't decide whether it wanted to be Gooner friendly or anti-Gooner or Gooner adjacent. And in my case, it resulted in a bit of frustration. So So I just sort of lost steam with it for a couple of years. I was too busy with work anyway. Yeah, the angle here matters. Hold on. We all know I get a little too obsessed with angles. I want to get them close to right, if I can. Demonstrate that that matters a lot. I'm planning on going live later today too, finishing off that Midna piece. I think I can do it. But so Danny, you know how I did that pirate girl drawing? That did so well, and it needed so little effort, like real effort on my part. I basically just referenced a photo of a pretty girl and drew it, and got lucky where the time lapse was impressive. Because that's not always the case. Sometimes they're challenging. Hold on, I want to make sure I'm not infringing too much on shit. We're going to go to Sonic and chill mode. So I was like, I should just, if I want to grow my account, I should just do a bunch of pretty girl drawings. But I was like, that's not in the scope of my fan art. Like, I don't really want to just do that. I'll do some of it, you know. I already have plans to do, maybe draw different cosplayers and stuff like that. With permission this time. But I was like, I kind of do have that NSFW account. That's my other Pretty Girl Fridays or something. Oh, that's a good idea. Well, so the drawing I'm doing right now is a pretty safe for work reference for sure. So there's nothing that would like stop me from like posting this if I wanted, but it's sort of irrelevant to the fan art stuff. But if I do it in an educational way, it's still relevant. But I could draw impressive time lapses of pretty half-naked girls on, or fully nude girls apparently, for my figure drawing account, and just see if that grows and gets a better audience, you know. And just see what happens. You know, a lot of this stuff is like, I don't know what's going to happen until I try it. A lot of stuff that I assumed would be not successful ended up being successful. A lot of stuff that I assumed would be successful ended up being non-successful. How much of that is like luck or algorithm and stuff like that? No one can know. Every piece you do is a lottery ticket, so it kind of sort of just, my personal advice to myself is just generate a lot of, not generate, but draw, as I'm doing now, a lot of lottery tickets. And if having a good composition is the bottleneck, but there's no, obviously that is, like if I'm creating my own good compositions, that takes time. And I don't want to cheapen the work that I've already done by selling it with other things, but, you know, a figure drawing study account, there's nothing wrong with drawing from references and posting the result, so. It all came to relevance yesterday, as I was told. My agent called me, and she was like, I was supposed to start a job yesterday. That job got canceled. Or not canceled, it got pushed to next week. Fine, it happens. And then I heard about another big job that was happening in 3 weeks, maybe. So we're like, okay, 3 weeks, big job, maybe. So I was spending my time yesterday just being as productive as I could with what I had on hand, which was the Midna drawing, of course. It's unfortunate. This model has a sort of a large hand. Kind of a tricky pose. Tricky pose for the hand. As a subject, she's not very goony, but I thought the pose would be an easy one to wake up to, so I selected it for today. We'll just see how far we get. Anyway, as we go through this stuff, I do realize that there are some patterns to what does and doesn't play, but also sort of like people really do appreciate unexpected, fun, delightful new things that come across their feed. So I think my strategy is to be like, have a good mix. And I think I'm doing a decent job of that, so. But in case it's not clear, this is just a quick stream, like a figure drawing stream. I'll stop this in about, let's see how much time is left. 12 minutes. All right, well, we got a little time left. Time enough to scratch my eyeball. So when I'm given notice that I will have upcoming work, that gets me, like, my brain starts firing and I'm like, shit, I need to remember how to draw. And then I'm like, oh, I do remember how to draw. It's like, cool, let's start now. And I can't, right? Right? So that anxiety is like there, it builds up in my brain. Sort of interesting how for me, I think a lot of people, if I'm for all being honest, a lot of the impulsive drawing is a anxiety regulator. It's like just something we do to like stabilize ourselves and not freak out. Which makes it tricky when your job, your career, your livelihood is tied to the demand for that. Lucky for me to have monetized my for those of us who have monetized our coping mechanisms, it's a perilous future. And a drawing like this is unlikely to get shared by like a fandom or anything like that. But fans of art and art processes might enjoy seeing it, might share and like it, bring others to the account. Anything I put out there could be a vector, like a weak point in the wall, keeping people from finding it, right? Or it's like, it's what I want, which is like a crack in the opening of the inefficiency of discovery. The germ of people's curiosity will infiltrate. And spread like wildfire. Instantly going viral, and humanity is never the same, you know? Happens. References like this, where they are especially there's like angles, right? It's like she's not just like straight up and down. Where you can get the whole body sort of like in and close, I think tends to be pretty successful. So imagine if she was naked, right? You could... kind of fun. Interestingly, like, I probably could have drawn her with the clothes off if I wanted to, but... it's not like we couldn't find a separate picture of that exact thing somewhere on the internet if we wanted to. I definitely appreciated the depiction here of, though this doesn't appear to be like retro, has some 90s flair to it. There's no way for me to know for sure. Anything you find on Pinterest is suspect. I was like, oh, this is a cool reference. And then I was like, what's this account? I look at it and that's an AI account. And I'm like, God damn it. Can't even steal decent reference images on the internet anymore. Pretty good base. do it one more time. Top down. 4 minutes. I'm glad I was able to make this happen this morning. Yeah, on any given day, I don't know what I'm going to end up doing with my work. So I'm more or less a artistic fireman on call. And sometimes the slow days are harder than the busy ones. So having a plan of what to do is it's like survival. What to do when things are slow. Underrated survival instinct. She has this stringy hair, and it's difficult to represent that properly without making it look messy, so we don't want to rush that. The forearm naturally is getting bent into pleasing shapes, but not necessarily intuitive ones. It's looking pretty good. It's not devoid of mistakes, but it's not riddled with them either, so I'm pleased with that. Honors the source material. Oh, we got about 20 seconds left, so I'm gonna finish it up. So far, this is looking like a pretty good candidate for me to just finish it off stream later. So don't be surprised if you see it in some form or another sometime. I'm not sure if it's perfect for the fan art stuff, like I said, but come around. Things are evolving, so Pretty good clip. Okay, that's it. I want to say thank you, everybody, for popping by. Hope you have a great morning. Let's do this again sometime, huh? We can, morning coffee, draw something cool. Could be good. All right, guys. See you later. Adios.